Jose Zambrano is a professional firefighter. He started running in part to ease the stress of his life and death work. Then he began running for charity. And when a friend of his lost a child to cancer, Jose started running for St. Jude.
I came across St. Jude and the wonderful thing that St. Jude does for not only for the children but also for the family. I was very moved by that, and I've been running since then for St. Jude.
But Jose is doing it a little differently. He runs these marathons in full firefighting gear. He does it as a way of attracting attention, not to him as an individual, but to his cause. We're talking about 45 pounds worth of fire resistant gear, including a helmet bearing the St. Jude logo. What does that feel like?
Well, I get that question all the time. People always ask me if it's hot in there or if it's heavy, and yes, it's a little heavy, and it is. I'll be honest, it's painful. I did a New York Marathon, and it was around November, the beginning of November, and I never realized that the weather. Even although I wear all that stuff on me and it keeps me warm, but what that means is that, when I start sweating, it gets wet. So when the weather is below, 30 degrees, and you have the wind in the windshield, you know what I mean? It's super freezing. And it's funny because, you get those comments, are you hot in there? You know what I mean? And I'm like, not really, you know what I mean? I am freezing.
Jose is known as Fireman Joe on the marathon circuit, and sometimes he's been at the right place at the right time to render aid along the way, from sharing electrolytes to giving CPR.
I've been in cases where people are, passing out, and they're like, thank God, the fire department is here. So, and it's like, well, I'm off, but, I'm not it doesn't mean I'm not a firefighter on or off the job. So, and regardless of whether I'm on or off the job or whether I'm running or not, I'm always asking God if I can be an instrument, not only of awareness, but also to help others. So let me be that person. You know what I mean? I do anything for my fellow man, for my fellow brother. And that's how I look at it.
And sometimes what he can offer his fellow runners is simply inspiration to keep going. On occasion, he gets that inspiration back from them.
People sometimes they see me with all this gear. People says, "Oh my gosh, I was thinking about quitting, but then I saw you with all this stuff, and I am not gonna quit." But in reality, if it only knew that actually I was thinking myself, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh, how painful is this? I don't know if I can continue going. And they tell me that. I'm just like, that was probably the greatest gift that God left us. It was to love your neighbor as yourself.
I'm Caleb Suggs, and this has been St. Jude Soundbites, stories of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital told by patients, parents, donors, volunteers, and others.